don't use wrapping paper, you know how to use Fusion 360 for Fabricators.
This.
So what would you do? Cut it open or leave it as art?
And today, you're building the ultimate Tennessee gift, a steel liquor cage for a bottle of Jack Daniels. Now let's break it down so you can follow along and build this yourself. Most fabricators get stuck before they even get to the fun part, which is why I gave you a head start. Check the link in the description to download the file so you can follow along step by step. This tutorial is laced with the juiciest, hackiest, tastiest cat tricks that'll turn you into a fabrication beast.
I hope you guys don't mind. I already designed the Jack Daniels bottle, so I measured this thing up with the calipers, and I should have everything represented here good enough. I could have gotten the 3D scanner, but this just seemed a little bit faster. So when you're starting a project, the first thing to do is figure out what's the fastest way you can draw this thing. And I'm gonna start with the plate here at the bottom. It's the easiest piece, and we're gonna click on this face to highlight it, and then we're just gonna hit rectangle R. Hopefully the keystrokes are popping up there for you guys. And we're gonna come up here and select center point rectangle. So if I hover right here, it's gonna give me the delta, and then you see the other delta line pop up there. Here, I can zoom in. So we got delta here, and then that delta there, and bam, there's our center. So let's see about how big we wanna make this thing. I've got a cool little feature on the back, so I'm gonna oversize this a little bit, and we'll do some stuff to lock the bottle in just a little bit. So there's my 5-inch square. We're gonna click on this face, hit E extrude, then we're gonna click all the rest of this, turn it all blue, and we're gonna go down 0.1875 because I'm gonna make this whole thing out of 7 gauge. This is important right here. We're gonna make a new body, not join, otherwise it's gonna make this piece part of the rest of the bottle here that we formed up, and we don't want to do that for later. I'll show you why. So now we've got our 4 faces, one here, and we can create those as new sketch planes. So wherever you click on here, that's going to create your plane, and I can actually show you with a construction plane. See this tan area here? There is a way. Yeah, there we go. You can click and drag this. So I'm just going to do this first time. This isn't a true, I mean, I guess it is a construction plane, but just to show you guys, when you select that face, it's creating a sketch all the way up on that plane. So that's a good way to visualize it. So now we know we're locked right here on this plane. We're going to hit R for rectangle, click on that plane we just made, and we're going to hit P for project. And we're going to project, see how those lines got highlighted red? That's going to project that square or that rectangle onto our new sketch plane. And that'll give us nice little snappy points. So we're gonna go up here and then just hover there, and it'll kind of lock into place. And actually what I need to do is inspect this. So let's do I for inspect. I'm gonna click from here to here. That's gonna give us this distance of 10.875. So I want this to land right at the top there. So I'm going to hover there, and we're going to go up 10.875, and then you can actually do math just like Excel inside of this. So I'm going to add my 0.1875 of material thickness at the top. So now we've got that. Should extend 3/16 above. We're going to hit E for extrude again, and I'm going to go ahead and extrude this in as well, and I'll show you why here in just a second. Not negative, 0.1875. Oh yes, we do want negative 0.1875, and we're going to highlight over here, new body. Okay, so we got one there, and really I know all these are going to be the same. So what I'm going to do is we are going to create a circular pattern, and we're going to make a bunch of these really quickly here. So this is a little tip that's going to save you guys a lot of time. So we're going to hit bodies, select that body, and the axis, we're going to select this circle right here, and let's highlight that and make 4 of them. Boom. Now we got all 4 sides of our box ready to go. And we're gonna check right here. Let's see here, inspect, let's just make sure we're actually sitting proud. So from the floor of that to the top of there, we're 10.875. And from the floor there to the top of there, we are 10.875. So, oh, because I took that dimension from the bottom corner, so I needed to add 0.1875 again. So we're gonna go back here to this extrude. Actually, sorry, this sketch back here, and this is one of the cool things about Fusion. So we can double click on this dimension, and we just hit plus 0.1875 again. And now we're gonna be 0.1875 proud, and when I finish this sketch, it's automatically gonna update that extrude move down here. One of my favorite things about Fusion. Took me a long time to learn that, and hopefully that saves you guys a bunch of time. So then here at the top, hit this, there's our new plane, R for rectangle, and see how it's not snapping to that? It's because we didn't project it into the sketch. So I'm gonna escape out of that, hit P for project, and I'm just gonna highlight this corner here, so now I have a nice snap point. So R for rectangle again, and bam, there we are. So E for extrude, gonna pick all these. And now we need this plate to touch the top of the bottle. So we're gonna go negative 0.1875. It's trying to cut because it's sensing those other bodies there. So I'm gonna hit new body again. And boom, so there we have a nice, very boring box that is not quite ready to manufacture yet. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually design some tabs and slots into this. So a quick way to do that is I'm gonna take this and press V for hide, take this, press V for hide, and really guys, you wanna learn the shortcuts. It's like a superpower in Fusion 360. I know this feels like alien spaceship territory to you if you're just starting out, but instead of going up here to the menu all the time, the keystrokes will help you a ton throughout this process. So we're gonna hit that face, R for rectangle, and then I'm just randomly, I guess not so randomly, so we could project the lid and we'll project the bottom into this sketch, and then I take a line, and let's say we want the first slot to be 1 inch. So I'm just gonna make a 1 inch line and then my rectangle off of that. So we'll make a 1 inch tall slot, and then our plate thickness is 0.1875 again. All right, so from here, let's see here, the best way to do this, you can get it done in a lot of ways, but there's some little hacky tricks here that'll help you. So we hit M for move, let's see if we can move this sketch object. So we double clicked on it and that selected the whole curve, create a copy, and then we can slide that up here. And I don't know, that looks like about 1 inch from the top. This isn't super critical, but if we wanted to, we could draw another line right here, 1 inch, and then we could drag that up to that snap point, but we're not gonna do that. This isn't super critical. All right, now we're gonna do another trick where I hit L for line and that delta pops up there. And we're just gonna draw a quick little line here, escape, get out of that tool. And now we're gonna mirror this across. So we're gonna double click that rectangle, double click that rectangle, then we're gonna hit mirror line and come here and mirror it over. So now we've got our 4 slots, and when we hit E for extrude, we're gonna cut these out. And I'm gonna show you 2 different ways to do this in this project. But see how we just extruded that through and we left this plate visible? So now we have our slots in the front and the back. So mechanically, this thing's looking pretty good. Now I'll show you another trick to make your tabs really quickly. So I'm gonna head up here to combine, and we're gonna do a cut operation. So our target body is this plate right here, we wanna cut. And our tool body is, this is gonna act as our cutting template, right? And we want both sides done. And we're gonna select keep tools, hit OK. Now let's see, when we pull this away here, this thing now has our tabs, our ears are on it, right? And that looks different than this side. which if you look at the lines, it looks convincing, but when you pull this away, you realize it doesn't have the ears on it yet. So we do that same operation over here, select this face, combine, cut. Tool bodies are this one and this one. We're gonna keep our tools. Boom. So that is my favorite way of making tabs and slots. And really, you have to kind of tolerance these out a little bit because you can't have a zero tolerance fitting here. If we cut it this way, they're not actually gonna slide together. So I'm gonna show you guys, it's probably not the best way to do this, but it's how I know how to do it. So we're gonna hit Q, which is press pull. So anything on this plane, together with these, we should be able to press pull all at the same time. And you can even pick the opposite sides as long as they share the same plane. This all works out in Fusion. And then we'll do negative 0.05. That should be enough tolerance there. And then we'll do the same here, Q. I'm gonna select the tops of these. And the bottoms. So you can do this with an extrude, but then you end up, I don't know, it just takes a little bit more time. So negative 0.05. Okay. So then we'll make these two visible again. And now you see there's a nice little gap right there. So that's totally doable. We could add dog bones in the corners if you guys really wanted to sneak up on this and have it be tighter tolerance. Let me show you what that looks really quick, even though we're not gonna put dog bones on this. So I hit this face, C for circle, click on that corner, 0.1, I don't know, 0.05. And then I can hit E for extrude, and then I can relieve that corner because the laser and a plasma actually cut with a round tip basically. So your corners don't actually come out super crispy. Like to the eye, you're not gonna really pick it out. It's gonna look like it's a nice sharp corner, but when you try and put this totally sharp corner in there, it's gonna bind up in that corner. So the dog bones are made to relieve that, but we're making this a little bit sloppy. It's just an intro, easy beginner project. Okay, so that is my favorite way of making dog bones, or sorry, not dog bones, tab and slot design. Let me show you the other way to do it here. Is basically you have to draw everything out, and that gets a little cumbersome. So as I delete that, or sorry, not delete it, I hide that top. I'm just gonna label that top so I don't lose it over here. It's a really good habit to start labeling these bodies as you create them so you can pick them out easily. All right, so from here, so here's our center point. So we did 0.1875 for material thickness, 0.5 because we're doing half this. Escape. And we're gonna mirror this over. That way it's perfectly centered. Okay, so there's our positive. I'm gonna hit L for line, pop this over here, pop this over here, and now we can extrude this back, and we've made our nice little tab right there. All right, so now there's our top, and now that we have those tabs in there, you can select this and hit P for project, and you can project those. Come on. I know you want to. I know you wanna. Get in there. So now we're gonna hide this face, hide this face, and then we're gonna extrude those down. So that's your other way of doing it. All right, and if we were smart, well, if I was smart, and I was not this time, I would have duplicated that down here or done a mirror. Alright, you got the gist of it, so I didn't make you guys watch the bottom, but I've got tabs and slots all over the place. We could add more, we could have less, but this isn't really a structural project, and the layout should be really simple, so this should be enough. So let's go back to the front of this, and now we're going to start doing some design stuff, basically. So I've got some cool ideas to make this thing interesting, and the first one I want to do is I want to make this label visible. So there's our front piece. I'm going to project this. So I actually already measured the label area and put it onto the bottle. So I don't know if you see this little raised section right here. So that's my label, and we're going to make sure that we can read that label when this thing's locked in the box, so they know exactly what they're missing. So bam, there's our little label window. Alright, so now it's time to give them some hints of kind of the theme of this thing. So we're going to hit rectangle, and I'm just going to make myself a little rectangle right here off of these. Basically just making some bounding boxes. Let's get, got our little bounding box up here. We're going to start with danger. And then let's get down to a stencil font. So we have our lead-ins. Let's try stencil Gothic. That looks pretty good. 1 inch is a little big. And we're going to center that in there. Alright, solid. Danger. Alright, and then we'll do another text box down here because I kind of want to play with the layout a little bit and the spacing between them. And we can step that down a little smaller. Okay. And then M for move. Let's see if we can move this down. Yeah, this is one of the crappy parts about this text feature in here. It's just not very robust because it's not really designed to do text. But that should be pretty good. So now I'm going to E-extrude. There's our letters. There's our letters. Now we'll pull that through. Bam. So now we get to reveal a little bit more of the bottle. And then we're just going to do some cool little, I don't know what to call it here, danger stripes. Let's do some danger stripes, guys. Let's get dangerous on this. Right there. That looks about right. Okay. So we're going to take our L for line, and we're just going to draw this across. We'll start in the middle here. I'll show you why in a sec. Okay. There's our first line, and then we're just going to do a rectangular pattern. So I'm going to take this thing, we're going to start dragging it across, and we'll do this symmetric. And I'm going to go both directions. And we're going to pull this all the way out here to the edge, and then we'll just start playing with the count on this, see how it looks. 6, 7. 7 looks pretty good. Alright. Now we're just going to go in here and hit E-extrude, and we're just going to pick every other one of these, and we'll push that back. That looks alright. I mean, I don't know, maybe not. Let's play with the count on this again. So we go in here, double click, see what 8 looks like. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's try this again. And really, this was like the coolest part of learning CAD, was learning that I could edit this stuff after I made it. So I don't know if this needs like a box around the outside edge. Let's see if we can define this a little bit more. So we're gonna hit O for offset. We're gonna select that, and then we're just gonna drag this down here, 0.1. And then another offset off of here. Well, we're kind of starting to run out of space. So here, we'll offset off of this one. One more time, a little smaller. All right, now we're gonna extrude this. Here we go. It's a bit of a brain bender. No, don't do it. Don't do it. All right, and that sketch is in the way. All right, yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. So now what we're gonna do is we gotta reconnect this, which we can decide, maybe I can find something right here. What if we just leave this corner intact? No, that looks kind of weird. What if we leave this top and bottom? So now I'm sure you guys noticed this is floating right here, and we need to connect it back to the rest of the design. So this is why I did not pick a regular font. I picked one that already had stencils basically cut out the center of, let's see, like this letter A, the letter D, because otherwise you have to go back in here and you have to manually draw all these little lead-in lines. So let's see, yeah, we'll do 0.05. You guys starting to see a trend here? Once you guys get the basics down in here, this is going to be like a freaking superpower for you guys. You're going to be so dangerous in the shop. And you're going to stop using cardboard. I used to tell people that CAD standed for. I used to tell people that CAD stood for cardboard aided design because that's all I had. -0.1875. And now I can say that I do real CAD. Alright, so I like that. That's kind of selling the whole danger, high voltage, throwing the switch on this thing. So let's see, we should probably fill this area up, relieve it a little more so you can see more of that bottle. I really like that idea. Alright, so right here on the back, I need to make the pivot point for my throw switch, but I didn't think about it when I made this side plate, and I don't want to weld something extra on here. So what I'm going to do is actually come back here and make another set of tab and slots. And that's going to look a lot like this, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with by now. Let's get our delta for the center. Then we're going 0.1875 for our material thickness. How big should we make this? Let's say 0.75 will make it look kind of beefy. Bringing the beef. 0.75, 0.1875. There we go. We'll give ourselves another mirror line because I don't want to draw that again. It's so time consuming. What are we doing here? Let's go fast. If you guys haven't realized, CAD isn't super fast. There's tricks you can learn, but you know, it still just comes down to you got to put a lot of hours into this stuff. But the hours pay off, dude. Every single hour you spend in CAD is going to save you multiple hours in the shop. And really what it's forcing you to do is just plan better. Like straight up, if you spend the time to actually draw this whole thing out and plan it all out, you're going to save so much material in your shop. It's pretty crazy, honestly. All right, so let's do a little hacky trick here. Just gonna project that rectangle and then O offset negative 0.05. All right, and then that's gonna give us our line up here. Then we want to come out 1.75 inches. Let's do 1.5 inches. You guys will see this in just a second, but basically I already did my offset. All right, now I can extrude this. All right, it's asking if I want to join it, and I'm not going to join it yet. I'll show you here in just a second. So I made that a separate body, so now I can move this across, create a copy, bam, and then I can snap it to that face. All right, and now, you guys remember our combine cut tool? Now we're gonna do a combine tool. So we're gonna join these together. And let's see if that worked. Oh, it's all together. It made this little duplicate here. That's what's kind of showing up as double. There we go. And then we're gonna modify combine. Oh, it's keeping the tool, so that's why. So we got our join selected, and now the tool disappears, so it didn't make a duplicate. All right, so we've got our tabs now for our big throw switch. And now I want to make a rectangle here, just so I can get a good center point. So here's our center. Let's use 1/4 inch hardware, so I'm going to oversize that hole. E for extrude. And I want to round this off, and I could have done it in the sketch right here and extruded across, but I'm going to show you a cool little trick. It's F fillet. And really, once I saw this tool and learned how to use it, I just started spotting all kinds of stuff in the world that I was like, oh yeah, that was CAD designed. Like, I know how they did that. And I don't know, it's just kind of crazy how much stuff is made in this software these days. All right, so there's the center of my throw switch. Now let's make a little plate assembly here. So there's my next rectangle. And I guess we'll start that thing right up here so it's flush. And then call that 1 inch. And then how far down does this thing need to go? I'd say all the way down to the bottom. It's kind of dramatic. See, 6 inches. No, not that. Not that 6 inches. There we go. Tab. 6 inches. All right. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to extrude this out. 0.1875. New body. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and fillet this one again on these corners. Just makes everything look a little bit cleaner. There's another tool in here called chamfer, which will give you like a flat, 45-degree edge on something. Oh, bro, that looks so clean. All right, now we're just going to move this. We're actually going to create a copy. So we'll slide this over, and we want to snap it to that face. Bam. All right, and then we need a circle. Hopefully we had 1 inch here. I think we did. So I can use a 1 inch tube. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, so we're going to extrude that across. Let's make a new body. All right, cool. So now, here, let me show you guys how this thing's gonna work. So I've got these three. I'm gonna rotate around this circle so you can actually throw that switch. And dude, I don't know what it is, but anytime anything moves, like whenever we make a door that opens or something that slides, the complexity just goes up exponentially. It's never a straight line. You think like, oh, it's just a door, oh, it's just a hinge or a gate, or it's just a throw switch. And you would be amazed how many times you completely feel like a fool because you didn't work something out. So this is a really great way to analyze and make sure that this range of motion works. Let's check the back and make sure it's not binding. Oh, and look at that. It's binding right in the back. So that's not going to work. We're going to have to edit that down. So let's cancel this move. And let's do another cue with that face. And we can actually just take that face down. Oh, it's not happy. It's not happy. What's the fastest way to do this, guys? Oh, M, move, faces. We're gonna take that face, and then we're gonna do translate, so it locks it into our XY coordinates. And now, boom. So I take that down, 0.2. This one didn't move, but that's okay. We can take that, 0.2. Okay, now let's check our range of motion again. No, not faces. Back to bodies. Give me the body. Body, body, body. Alright, we're going to rotate off of this. Alright, let's check and make sure we're not binding back here anymore. Oh my gosh, it solved all of our problems. What a great example. I did not plan that out, but I tell you, every time I make something that moves, I find some issue where it runs into something that I wasn't anticipating. So it's always great to do these checks. All right, so there we've got our high voltage box. This is the kind of project I wish somebody used to teach me Fusion, because I was building laptop stands and boxes and bending stuff, and it wasn't actually turning into anything. So just like when I was welding, I had to make something. I couldn't just sit there in the booth and run passes hours and hours and hours. It was super boring, and I lost motivation quickly. So I always like to make an interesting project that helps me build skills into something that I actually want to see exist, because it's painful to go through all this. It takes a lot of work, a lot of head scratching, a lot of thinking. And if you don't want the thing to exist in the end, you're not going to go through the pain to get there. So I really hope this was a fun project that you guys enjoyed. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep working on this, and I'm going to keep the screen recording going so you guys can see what's going on the screen. So if you guys are interested in all of the nitty-gritty details, you can hang out to the end of the video and watch me finish the rest of this. Otherwise, I'm gonna cut in making this freaking thing because it looks super cool, and that's the fun part. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Nashville, but it is definitely a drinking city. It's built off the back of what we like to call around here as the Honky Tonk Industrial Complex. It's where all the bridesmaids come. I think it's the #1 bridesmaid destination across the country, and this place serves a lot of drinks. So one of my favorite gifts to give is one of these bottle cages to all of our customers, and I like to make them custom and a little bit different every time. And that's kind of the power of CAD, is you can really make whatever you want, and it unlocks your CNC machine and turns it into something completely different than just like a production animal. And this is why I love the tab and slot. I could have made these a lot tighter, but I wanted to make this a file that you guys could use on your plasma table. So I made the tab and slot really generous. So you should be able to use your regular consumables. You might have to use some fine cut consumables, but this should definitely work on a plasma cutter as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share this DXF with you guys on the website, HeroMachineCo.com. I'll throw a link down below So you guys can make this for yourself and hopefully give it to somebody as a great gag gift, or use it as inspiration to basically take those in and maybe redesign them, because the sizes will be all the same and you guys can just make this design a little bit different. Remove the spikes, take the handle off, think of something new. But that's why I want you guys to learn CAD, because it's really the key in the lock that unlocks your plasma table, fiber laser, or tube laser. You have to be able to design this stuff in order to make those things really useful tools. And once you get to the end of this thing and actually give it to somebody, it becomes more than just a bottle. It becomes a work of art that you're sharing, and it's an expression of your unique creativity and thought, because gifts are really all about the thought that goes into them, not exactly what you're giving. So this just shows a lot of thought and care and attention to detail, and is a great way to show off your fabrication skills and design skills as well. If you guys make this file, just post it on social media and tag Hero Machine Co in it. I really want to see what you guys make and how you change this, or maybe even like the reveal of you giving it to somebody, because it's always a hilarious moment when they realize that they can't drink the bottle unless they destroy the piece of art. Actually, a fun variation on this design would be to put a padlock on the top and make them do something for the key, or maybe they could just cut the padlock off. But the only way to get into this one is to destroy it. So should we destroy this thing in order to get the bottle back out? Let me know in the comments below if you guys would cut this thing apart to get the bottle. Here's our little retention clip. This goes around the bottle and helps keep it from banging around inside of there too much. So this grabs all four sides. So you can't just like rattle this thing around, which would eventually break the glass. Oh, where are you going now? Nowhere! CAD will turn into one of those cool party tricks that you can just pull out. I don't know how many times I've been in a meeting where they've been arguing about, you know, how they're gonna design this detail. People are waving their hands around in the air, and then I just roll in, pull out my laptop, and start drawing up a section view of what everybody's talking about, and we have a super productive meeting. And it only happened because I was able to draw this stuff accurately and quickly in the meeting. Gotta spread the cheeks a little bit on these spikes. Turn into a tight fit up here, which is good. I didn't draw any tolerance in the distance of these from each other. Luckily, there's plenty of access in this design, so I can keep all the welds inside and keep this thing looking super clean. I hope this is super useful to you guys, because this is not just building a bottle cage. This is building some foundational skills that you guys are going to use in your shop, but you're doing something fun and interesting, which is the only way that I ever really could get into fabricating. Oh, we better not weld this up without putting the bottle in. Okay, never mind, just kidding. I almost locked the bottle out of the bottle cage. That would have been comical. Now the final magic trick, I gotta actually put the bottle in here. So most of the welding's done. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of weld on the bottom of this. Help it sit in there nice and tight. Let that cool down so it doesn't melt the top of the bottle, which is plastic. Here's the other cool thing about CAD is I didn't have to measure this. I just looked it up in CAD how long I should draw this thing, and we put it together, tab and slot, and look at that fit up. I mean, you couldn't ask for better. So now we know we can just put this handle together and not stress too much, because we know it's going to fit. Make that weld disappear. The handle. Oh, that's cool. I also use solid bar stock here, so this thing is like heavy. It's got like a real good heft to it. And the one bad thing about these fixture tables is screws and nuts always fall through these suckers. So I hate doing assembly on these things. There you have it, guys. There's my bottle cage. I hope this was entertaining enough to have you guys actually stick through the tutorial, because if you get through making this in CAD by yourself, then you are gonna be like a Fusion 360 gangster in your metal shop. This combines all of the skills you're gonna need to run your shop efficiently and get rid of all kinds of extra steps, layout, extra cutting, fit up issues, and overall lack of creativity. I know you guys are super creative people, that's why you're here on the channel, but if you can't get it out into the world, it doesn't really mean very much. The other side of this is you can make an entire living off of just doing CAD design. We have one full-time drafter here, and then I sub out the rest of my drafting to a second guy, and I have a third team over in Turkey that also does drafting for me. So there's 3 different people that are making their living just drawing this stuff. So this is super powerful skills. They're gonna make you guys more useful in your shop, whether you're working for yourself or somebody else. Okay, I know this thing says high voltage, but it just doesn't quite look dangerous enough. So let's have a little bit of fun here and let's add some spikes. So we got a line so we can get our center point. Let's see how spiky we want to make this. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty dang spiky, right? Sick. Okay, that looks kind of rad. All right, I'll show you a little trick, another one if you guys hung out here. So I'm gonna hit this, hit P for project, and then all I'm gonna do is just grab those triangles from the other side of the sketch here. Come on. And then I can just go ahead and, oh, why'd that one not pull the whole thing through? Yeah, give me the whole thing. I want it. All right, then we're gonna extrude our spikies on here. Nice. Okay, so should we add some at the top? I kind of think we should add some at the top. So let's see here. All right, I'm gonna move all these faces here. Pretty cool trick, right? All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing over here. I could have grabbed all of them, I just didn't think about it, so sorry. I know you guys want it fast, it's YouTube. We need everything right now. Okay, cool. Now we can start a new sketch. And I'll project all this onto there. We'll connect this thing underneath. Whoa, what the heck? That is not the center line. Bum. There we go. Actually, we're trying to cut this. So I'm going to grab these guys. And you just click on that, it'll snap. Let me jump over here. Project that guy onto this. And our good old trusty combined cut here. Alright, and then I got to tolerance these guys again. SolidWorks actually has an awesome tool that does tab and slot automatically, and I've been working with ChatGPT to make a plugin to do automatic tab and slots in Fusion 360, so I'll post that up if I figure it out. But I have it working basically for flat plates like this. I just cannot get it working for tubes and circles. Alright, let's see how all this looks. There we go. Alright, we got that nice and toleranced out. Oh, why did it go to the middle? I don't want it at the middle. I want it right here. Yeah, dude, come on. Go right to there. Dude, I don't know why. 5x2. There we go. Okay, it's selecting the center of this for some reason. It should be snapping. Alright, then we got some more spikes up here. Make this thing look wild. There we go. Okay, this thing's looking freaking wicked now. You better be careful. It's dangerous! Alright, cool. So... I guess we'll just open this whole thing up here. There we go. Alright, that's looking pretty cool. So what should we put here on the side? Should we like repeat the danger high voltage? Maybe we put like 1000 gigawatts or something on the side. Not sure here. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's just do something simple here. We'll just do some more slashy things. You guys want some slashy things? Slashy things sound good. Sorry I'm not super talkative, guys. It's the end of the day here. And this is what I do to relax, is I love drafting. It's just like your good flow state. Don't really have to think about anything. Well, I guess you have to think about this, which gets you like super focused. But it kind of goes like casino time in here, where just not really thinking about what time it is or what you have to do later. It's just kind of a nice chill thing to do. It looks pretty good. Okay, yeah, it's looking cool. You see I made the bottle disappear in here. That way I didn't extrude through the bottle, because we're going to need that here at the end. Because we made the box bigger than the bottle. So I think that's some cool design. I should probably cut something out back here. Oh, I should put on and off. There we go. Okay, so let's do some more text. Oh, come on, Fusion, come up with a better tool here. See, so this just won't move right now. I'm like, what the hell is going on there? Anyway, so if you have trouble with text in here, you're not alone. I mean, seriously, who hasn't screwed up? But while you're learning this stuff, don't be afraid to use Control-Z and undo something. I think I just have to make the text box closer to where I actually want it. Yeah, that's more centered. Not on. This isn't a meditation thing. Off. Oh, and I probably should have started with the bigger word to make sure it fits. Let's see if that works down here. Oh, it fits. Okay, all right. Oh, yeah, let's see this. Oh, let's see if this is blocked. How is that all joined together now? Okay. This happens. Let me show you what to do here. So we'll do a construction plane on this face. And then we're going to split body. So we're going to split this whole thing, got combined together. I'm going to use this plane right here. And we're going to split that off. So now, yeah, we can select that by itself. But I bet this side over here, yeah, still connected. So we gotta do the same thing over here. Construction planes. All right. Modify, split face. And really the best way to do this is while I'm going through here, just go ahead and follow along. Dude, how did that not work? Yeah, I want you to split. There we go, it worked on the second time. Alright, so now let's see how this lays out with the text when this is in the up position. Yeah, I don't like that. It's covering the on, and down here it's centered. So let's see if we can do move faces. Let's see if we can slide these letters down here this way. It's a little bit time consuming to do it this way, but since you can't really move the text before it's extruded, I mean, if you guys figure it out, let me know, or like shoot me a link to a video of somebody that has figured it out, because that would be a sweet little trick to know. This better work because I just selected 5,000 things. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. So now let's do this move again and see how it sits inside of there. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. Cool. So now this just looks a little empty here. So let's work on, which one's that? All right, now we can see this thing pretty good. Okay, I really like this little detail here. So let's see if we can just project it across, and then maybe it'll let us move it. Then we don't have to redraw it again. Thinking, thinking, thinking. Okay, that is busy. Dude, it doesn't want to let us move it. Come on. I can't figure a good way to get that around there. So, let's just start over. Center point rectangle. So that should put us in here. Let's see, what did I do up here again? Oh yeah, I just connected together. Oh yeah, I did an offset off the offset. Oh no, it wasn't this one. There we go. Okay. That's pretty cool. But I think we need one on the top and the bottom. So let's see here. What's the fastest way to do this? Well, let's finish this one off. Okay. That looks pretty solid, but we need one on the top and one on the bottom. So let's try another little hacky trick here. We'll see if this works. So this stuff right here, see if we can move it. No. All right. Let's try move faces here. Can't duplicate that. Okay, well, we'll just do another rectangular pattern. All right. Well, let's see here. We need 4.3. Yeah, that gives us some good distance. And then the good old move faces here. This thing. I need that sketch visible so I know how far to drop it. Oh, actually, I can just go back to this original move. Ha 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 ha! Yeah, good old timeline infusion. Let's try that. Where the hell did that sketch go? Yeah, that's the sketch I want. That one right there. Should we do every other one? Let's see how that looks. Oh, I can't do this one up here yet. Yeah, that looks good. All right, now we'll finish this extrude right here. I'm not sure what happened here. Alright, that looks pretty freaking cool. So now we just got to attach the rest of these together. Sweet, dude, this thing's looking wild. Alright, let's see if we can do something cool up here. Alright, that's pretty cool. And we'll do one of these across, another one this way. Alright, so that'll hold this X together. Now we gotta think, what are we gonna extrude out of here? So maybe like a cool pattern where we do every other. Alright, that's pretty cool. So now the last thing we need to do is, we made this cage bigger than the bottle. So let's go ahead and finish this thing off by making some little keeper tabs in there. Oh, actually here, we'll just hide that. Okay. So we need to project all this stuff into here, so we have a good outside perimeter. I'm gonna take this, here's our inside, and then, oh yeah, we need to project the outside edges of the bottle. Alright, this is pretty simple here. Just hit E extrude. Alright, what that's going to do here is that's going to help us register the bottle in here. It's going to mess with our graphics a little bit, so let's just take a look at what this looks like here on the back. I don't like this. It's not great because it's messing with the graphics right here. And we really need one on this ledge of the bottle, and then we need another one down here to keep this thing captured so it doesn't, you can't just shake it around and break the bottle. What do we do here, guys? What do we do? We need the art. I guess I could change the design on the back here because that's really the only spot it's binding. We've got just about the perfect height here, which we know we can just move these faces. Do the same on this side. Oh, what do we do back here, guys? I want it to look cool. Oh, all right, here's an idea. How about we just modify this plate so it doesn't stick out all the way? How about that? Let's see how that looks in there now. Yeah, it looks a little better. And that should still do the job, honestly, guys. Alright. Create a copy. Let's see what this looks like up here. That works pretty good. But let me try one more thing. This will give it a little bit more relief. Yeah, okay, that's what we're going with. Kind of looks like little lightning bolts or something. Ooh, lightning bolts. Why don't we have any lightning bolts on this thing? It's electricity. Alright. Let's see if we can draw some lightning bolts. So they start out big across the top and then does like one of these thingies, and then it's got like a sharp little tail on it, and it comes down to another point here. Oh yeah, and then over like this, and then out like that, and then back up here to the top. Ooh, that looks pretty lightning bolty. There we go. Oh, that looks freaking wicked, man. Okay. Then, last thing I really want to do is move this text down to make this spacing even here. It's just driving me nuts. So let's see if we can move faces. Let's see if we can do like a big old Selectosaurus here with a drag. Oh yes, that was way faster. Oh, and just grab this guy back here. Not that one. Okay. Let's see if this worked. Oh, yes. Okay. That was way easier. Holy smokes, guys. This thing looks freaking awesome. I can't wait to put it on the laser and put it together and see how it actually looks and fits. And then we'll scroll down to that new sketch. And right here, you can right click and export DXF. Fusion has actually made some improvements here. You used to have to do a couple extra steps, and they streamlined it just a little bit. So, all right, we got the Jack Daniels. We'll call this, here's our naming convention for the laser. Q1 is how many? 7 gauge mild steel. So we always lead with the quantity and the material. That way the laser operator knows what to load and where this file goes to. Just helps track things down. So we'll do Jack Daniels front. All right. So now that DXF is in the folder and ready for G-code. So then we hide that sucker. Dude, how did both these get combined together again? This is absolute hot garbage. Well, anyways, it won't matter. So here's my back plate. Create a new sketch. And it doesn't matter because we're not exporting the whole body like for machining into separate actual components. This is literally just taking an outline of the shape here to send to the laser to let it know which outline we should cut. So I'll do Q1, 7 gauge mild steel, and Jack Daniels back.